Hey guys, I'm back again and I have for you today a book haul. Now, this one is going to be kind of long. There's a consequent number of books that I have here, but I have acquired them over the past 2.5 months. So I'm going to start with what I'm reading at the moment, which is The Enchanted by Renee Denfeld. And I will be back with a review of that when I'm done. I probably have about 50 or 60 more pages of that to read. I also have just finished reading Storm by Eric Jerome Dickey. We'll be back with a review of that. And I also just finished on my iPad is In the Shadow of the Banyan, and this was the International Reads Book Club pick for the month of May. So I finished reading that one maybe 3 or 4 days ago, so I'll be back with a review of that as well. And I was sent for review this book called Unadequate, and it is by Nicole Lockhart. There she is. And this is a book about a 22-year-old man who has had an accidental suicide. So I'm not really sure what it's about other than that. But I will be back with a review of that to tell you all about it. I picked up Gloria. Okay, and this is by Carrie Young. I hope to get to this one this summer, if I can. This one takes place in Jamaica because I'm slowly but surely getting interested in reading authors from the Caribbean. And this one, it says on the back, Gloria Campbell is 16 years old when a single violent act forces her to flee her hometown to forge a new life in Kingston. But while 40s Jamaica is awash with change, a black woman is still treated as a second-class citizen. So yeah, you know, I picked that up because it just seems really interesting. And this is I think a new release, somewhat new release. 2000, maybe end of 2013, maybe beginning of 2014. Then I picked up Jonathan Tropper's One Last Thing Before I Go. And I like Jonathan Tropper a lot because I think he really writes to the heart and he makes you relate completely to the main characters that he writes about, which are usually 40-something-year-old men. In this case, it's Meet Silver, 44, divorced, not exactly living the dream, and his ex-wife is about to marry another man. The only good thing in his life is his teenage daughter, Casey. She would probably say the opposite about him. Then Casey drops a bombshell. She is pregnant. Okay, so he really sets up the most ridiculous storylines in the sense where these things could actually really happen, but what he does is he really puts a humorous twist on a lot of it. I mean, I guess you would call this dick lit. A lot of people know Nick Hornby, but I personally prefer Jonathan Tropper's writing. So I'm going to try this one out. I already read This Is Where I Leave You, and I thought it was very, very good. I picked up a series of rereads, but that I absolutely want to own in good editions. So I first picked up The Bluest Eye. This is a used edition, and it's from Thrift Books. Love this cover, back cover with Toni Morrison Young sporting the afro. Yes, she is all of that with that afro. So I picked this one up, and yeah, this one is it's not so bad condition. Dust jacket is not so great, but you know, who cares? I love the fact that it's got Toni Young on the front. And then I picked up, in the Everyman's Library edition, I picked up these two, Beloved and Song of Solomon. Okay? And what I love about what I love about that is, okay, you've got the typography is, you know, pretty good. And I love that it has the built-in bookmark, and love Tony on the front. And look at the spine and everything. It just looks, it's just a beautifully published book. Now, the only problem with these two books is that these are the only two books that Everyman's Library has published from Toni Morrison. I don't get that. They really need to get on it. I mean, I would love to have the entire collection on my bookshelf, considering I've read almost all of them except for two. But yeah, so these are the only two. If you're interested in the Everyman's Library edition, these are the only two that exist. Okay, then I picked up The Blazing World by Siri Usfet. And there she is, Siri Usfet. This book I picked up as soon as I read the synopsis. I was there. I needed to read it. It says, Siri Usfet comes, a brilliant, provocative novel about an artist, Harriet Burden, who conducts an experiment after years of being ignored by the art world. She conceals her female identity behind three male fronts. The three solo shows are successful, but when Burden finally steps forward triumphantly to reveal herself as the artist behind the exhibitions, there is a public scandal. Doubts grow as acclaimed artist Rune, whose name was on the final exhibition, denies Burden's role in its creation. What no one doubts, however, is that the two artists were intensely involved with each other. As Burden's journals reveal, she and Rune found themselves locked in a charged and dangerous game that ended with the man's bizarre death. Now, the only two books that I read from her are, I read What I Loved, and I thought that was fantastic, and that as well takes place in sort of the New York art world as well. And the second one was called The Summer Without Men, but that was, no, not for me. Too much female whining. I don't know. That was, no, wasn't good. But I'm hoping that one will be good. Interested in getting into that one really quickly. All right, next we have The Painted Girls. Okay. And this one is by Kathy Marie Buchanan. And it says 1878 Paris, following their father's death. The Van Gotham sisters' lives are upended. Without his wages, eviction from their lodgings is imminent. With few options for work, Marie is dispatched to the Paris Opera, where for a scant 70 francs a month, she is trained to enter the famous ballet. Soon she's modeling for Edgar Degas, who immortalizes her image forever. Her older sister Antoinette finds work on the stage, but when she is derailed by her love for the dangerous Émile Abadi, she must choose between honest labor and the more profitable avenues open to young women of the Parisian demi-monde. Okay, this book I will be buddy reading with Evita Sawyers. If you don't know Evita Sawyers, go over and check her out. I'm going to put her name here. She has, I love to watch her videos and to hear her talking about books, but I just love her voice. Period. I mean, when she says something, it just rolls off. I just love love her voice. So Evita and I will be buddy reading this one as soon as she gets her copy. I picked up Juneteenth, which is of course by Ralph Ellison. As you know, you saw this one on my channel not so long ago. I wanted to replace my old white copy of Invisible Man that I didn't like that much, and I liked this copy. So I picked this one up because I've been dying to read Juneteenth. I think this was his last novel he worked on, but it's slightly unfinished from what I understand. So these two look great together. And hope to get to that one at some point this year. Next I picked up Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie's Purple Hibiscus. Okay. I haven't read this one yet. I need to read this one, and I need to read The Thing Around Your Neck, and then I will have read all of her books. But what I really loved was this cover. It is absolutely beautiful, this cover. Really, really pretty cover. Okay, next I picked up Foreign Gods Incorporated. Okay, this is by Oke Ndibe, who is Nigerian man. And I'll read the back for you so you have an idea of what it's about. Foreign Gods Incorporated tells the story of Ike, a highly educated Nigerian barely making a living driving a cab in New York City. A bad marriage and his addiction to gambling and alcohol, not to mention financial demands from family in Nigeria, have pushed him into crisis. After learning about a high-end Manhattan art dealer specializing in the sale of foreign gods, Ike hatches a desperate plan involving the theft of his old village's chief god. Okay, so you get the idea. This is pretty much one of those novels that is becoming very popular at the moment, which is exploring immigrants in Western countries. I've already read Americana and We Need New Names. And I'm thinking this one is going to add something a little different. The storyline is going to be slightly more out of the ordinary than the other two. And I've seen a lot of good blog post reviews on this book. So I hope to get to that one at least this summer. And last but not least, I have Bedrock Faith. Okay. That is by Eric Charles May. Let's just see if I have a picture of Eric. Here he is right here. Eric Charles May. Now, this one is about Gerald Stewpot Reeves, age 31, returns home in 1993 to live with his mom in Parkland, a middle-class African-American neighborhood on Chicago's far south side. A frightening delinquent before being sent away, Stewpot's immediate neighbors are more than a little nervous about having him back, even after he lets it be known he's had a religious conversion. Most people on his block are skeptical of this claim, with one notable exception, Mrs. Motley, a widowed retiree and Stewpot's next-door neighbor, who befriends him with an act she considers simple Christian kindness, but others view as naive and even dangerous. Okay, so you get an idea pretty much about what this one's about. Some mess is going to ensue with this one. I can feel it. And it should be interesting. So I hope to get to this one as well this summer because it kind of seems like a summer read. Yeah, so that's all I have for you today. That is my very large, consequent book haul. I know, but I probably won't be buying any more books until maybe September or something like that. Okay? So why don't you link below and tell me what you just bought if you bought a book, or tell me what you're reading at the moment. I hope you're having a fantastic Sunday. I'm having a great one because the sun is shining for the first time here in a long time. Bye-bye.